Trump trial turns to sex, bank accounts, and power. Highlights from Week 3. The third week of Donald J. Trump's Manhattan criminal trial offered a mix of sensational and mundane moments, culminating in anticipation for Michael D. Cohen's upcoming testimony. Hello and welcome back to the News Media Hands channel. During the past week, porn actor Stormy Daniels provided a graphic account of her alleged sexual encounter with Donald Trump in his criminal hush money trial.
The jury heard from several witnesses this week, including Stormy Daniels, who testified about the 2006 sexual encounter she had with former President Donald Trump. And although there were plenty of explicit details in Daniels' testimony, this case is about hush money payments and business records. So prosecutors are going to have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Trump knew about the payments and intended to make them to influence the 2016 election.
Daniels' testimony about her time with Trump was the most anticipated moment of the trial, which is now entering its fourth week of witnesses. As prosecutors approach the end of their historic case, Daniels' account has become an important piece of evidence.
On the stand Thursday, Stormy Daniels gave more details about her alleged sexual encounter with Donald Trump. The adult film star testified she felt shock and surprise when she came back to the Lake Tahoe hotel room in 2006 and saw Trump on the bed. She called it a power shift.
As always, remember that we value your comments and feedback, and your subscriptions help grow the channel. During the trial, Manhattan jurors were presented with documentary evidence that aimed to directly link Donald Trump to the hush money payments made to Stormy Daniels. Prosecutors alleged that the payments were an attempt to silence her in the lead-up to the 2016 presidential election. It was not only salacious details that were presented during the trial. Here is a closer look at what happened over the last week. Trump, Daniels' power dynamics. During the trial, Daniels testified for 7.5 hours and provided a vivid account of a sexual encounter she claims to have had with Trump in 2006. However, Trump denies the allegations. Although Daniels has previously shared some details of the encounter, she emphasized during her testimony the power dynamic between herself and Trump, highlighting her perception of an imbalance of power in the Lake Tahoe hotel suite where the alleged incident occurred. With a bodyguard positioned outside the suite, she described Trump as bigger and blocking the way. When the sex was over, she added, "It was really hard to get my shoes on, my hands were shaking so hard." Daniels testified that she was not physically threatened, verbally coerced, under the influence of drugs or alcohol, or offered money to have sex with Trump. Defense lawyers requested a mistrial, arguing that the witness' testimony was inflammatory and differed from her previous statements. Her statements, she said she felt lightheaded and blacked out while with Trump, amounted to a dog whistle for rape, Trump attorney Todd Blanche said. The issue is she has testified today about consent, about danger. That's not the point of this case, Blanche told the judge.
She also had to answer for social media posts where she bashed former President Trump, spending quite a lot of time on this one where she said she was, quote, the best person to flush the orange turd down. But all those colorful moments aside, perhaps the most important exchange was where Daniels admitted she never dealt directly with the former president on the hush money deal.
Merchant denied the mistrial request but also conceded that the testimony included some things that were better left unsaid. The judge also rejected a separate request to permit Trump to respond publicly to Daniels' testimony despite a gag order barring him from incendiary out-of-court comments about witnesses. Although Judge Merchant denied a mistrial request, he acknowledged that some of the testimony given during the trial should not have been disclosed. Additionally, there was a separate request to allow Trump to respond to Daniels' testimony publicly. Still, it was rejected due to a gag order that prohibited him from making any inflammatory comments about the witnesses outside of the courtroom. Salty stories about sex. Stormy Daniels faced a contentious cross-examination as defense lawyers raised multiple objections while she testified. Given the sensitive and provocative nature of her testimony, it was expected that there would be a lot of pushback from the defense. This exchange proved to be the most heated and combative one yet in the trial. The Trump team painted Daniels as an untrustworthy witness as it picked apart her personal life and profession. There were questions about her past claims that she lived in a haunted house and about her participation in a 2018 strip club tour called Making America Horny Again. Daniels said, she hated that tagline. There were suggestions, too, that she stands to profit handsomely by continuing to share her account even as the defense branded it pure fiction. You have made all of this up, right? Trump lawyer Susan Necheles asked. No, answered Daniels. In some particularly sharp exchanges, Necheles invoked Daniels' porn actor profession to cast doubt on her credibility, telling her at one point, "You have a lot of experience in making phony stories about sex appear to be real, right?" Wow, Daniels replied. That's not how I would put it. The sex in the films, it's very much real. Just like what happened to me in that room. The lawyer suggested that Daniels' experience in the porn industry would have made it unlikely for her to be intimidated by Trump on the bed. You've acted and had sex in over 200 porn movies, right? And there are naked men and women having sex, including yourself, in those movies? Neshlys asked. But according to you, seeing a man sitting on a bed in a t-shirt and boxers was so upsetting that you got lightheaded, the blood left your hands and feet, and you felt like you were going to faint. A sneering defendant. Trump's out-of-court comments related to the jury and witnesses have earned him monetary fines and repeated rebukes from a judge. However, his behavior during the courtroom proceedings last week resulted in a rebuke aimed at his lawyers. During Daniels' testimony, Merchant asked defense lawyers to approach the bench. He privately expressed concerns that Trump had reacted inappropriately. I understand that your client is upset at this point, but he is cursing audibly, and he is shaking his head visually, and that's contemptuous. It has the potential to intimidate the witness, and the jury can see that, Merchant said, according to a transcript of the proceedings. I am speaking to you here at the bench because I don't want to embarrass him, he added. In addition to a previous exchange, Trump was fined $1,000 for making comments about a case during an interview last month. He was also warned in the strongest way possible about the potential consequences of any further violations of Merchant's gag order, including the possibility of jail time. Trump DJT personal account mentioned. Jurors were presented with evidence of financial transactions and payment checks bearing Trump's signature in addition to the salacious testimony. Prosecutors attempted to establish a direct connection between Trump and the payments made to Daniels as hush money. They presented evidence that most of the checks used to reimburse Michael Cohen, who was Trump's former lawyer and fixer, for the payments to Daniels were drawn from Trump's personal account, which went by his initials, DJT. After Trump became president, checks written from his personal account had to be delivered via FedEx, according to Deborah Tarasoff, a Trump Organization accounts payable supervisor, to the White House for him to sign. The checks would then return with Trump's Sharpie signature. I'd pull them apart, mail out the check, and file the backup, she said, meaning putting the invoice into the Trump Organization's filing system. Both witnesses acknowledged not receiving direct instructions from Trump himself regarding the payments. Tarasoff admitted to not interacting much with Trump over the years and having no reason to suspect any wrongdoing regarding the checks. Unexpected names in Trump's famous friends list. Jurors got a glimpse at the high-rolling social life Trump enjoyed before becoming president, full of celebrity wattage and bold-faced names. A redacted contact list that Trump's assistant at his company sent to another Trump aide, representing people he spoke to frequently or might want to, included former Fox News host Bill O'Reilly, tennis player Serena Williams, casino mogul Steve Wynn, The Apprentice producer Mark Burnett, Saturday Night Live mastermind Lorne Michaels, and NFL legends Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. Their contact details were redacted, but the information nonetheless offered a window into the celebrity universe inhabited by Trump. Justice Juan M. Merchant intervened on Friday, urging prosecutors to advise Cohen against discussing Trump publicly, following a defense lawyer's report of Cohen wearing a shirt depicting Trump behind bars in a TikTok video. This request came amidst a week where the jury was exposed to both salacious details of a porn star's account of a 2006 encounter with Trump and more subdued yet potentially incriminating evidence related to Trump's financial records.
He's the star witness for the prosecution. He's the one who made the payments to Stormy Daniels and to Karen McDougal, and he's the one who will be answering questions about how that process played out and whether he did it at the direction of the president. The question is whether jurors are going to believe him when he testifies about that.
Michael Cohen has some honesty problems as an admitted liar. He has admitted he's lied under oath, and he actually pleaded guilty to federal charges related to these hush money payments. He spent some time in jail, including for campaign finance violations. Some unexpected guests showed up in the courtroom last week. On the Trump's family side, Eric Trump was seen at least in 2 occasions, while on the political side, Senator Rick Scott came with a strong scripted message.
Florida Senator Rick Scott joined Trump in court Thursday.
This is just pure political persecution.
Tell us in the comments section what was your unexpected moment from the trial last week. If you like this video, you will certainly like the next one. Thanks for watching. If you like it, comment and hit the like and share buttons. Subscribe for future videos.